I'm Zai. I'm currently active duty in the military. Not going to say what specific branch, but um, just going to be here implementing some of the teachings and lessons that I've learned, just to try to see how well we can implement it within a video game and how it can translate to real world scenarios. So, are we doing rifles out, or are we just doing walkie motions?
Whatever you want, man. Whatever you're into. I'm cool with it. Anything. We can do air. We can do rifle. We can do just where we're looking. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. I guess we can do rifles just so like we can have the motion down. We don't
Cool.
have to shoot or anything.
Cool.
All right, so the man closest to the doorknob, we're gonna open it. Most common thing in CQB and clearing rooms, whoever's closest to the doorknob, if the situation and area allows it. If the wall was closer, like right here where I'm standing, if the wall was to end here, we would probably open the door from your side, just so we have a safer approach. So nobody's standing in the threshold as the door opens and then dies. So just gonna open the door. Both gonna pie just a little bit, see what we can see. If there's no shot, the number two man that wasn't opening the door will fall in,
Bang, bang, bang.
and I would go right behind you. Okay, so I'm holding hallway. I see that it's a dead end at the end of the hallway, so I'm gonna collapse on you. In game, I would give you a squeeze, or real life, I would squeeze your shoulder. Just depends on if they know we're here or not. Probably, realistically speaking, if it's like this and I have a clear angle from around the corner, like I'm standing right here, as you swing the door, I'd probably stand here just so I can see down the doorway. Bang, bang. So first man's down. Since you opened it, we go in, push right, bang, bang.
Dead space left.
Good call.
Door.
Dead space right. All right. Did you have another way that you would want it to do as
That was
far as like
perfect.
entering a?
The only thing I like, again, right? Situation which we agreed on before. Situation more or less is going to dictate the tactic to use. The only thing that you could do differently, again, I'm not saying how we did it was wrong or right, is this is probably one of the few situations where the guy that is opening the door is going to go in first, right? So doors closed, you're on that angle like you said. I got it popped. I back up a bit. No shots, or you take a shot and I see that muzzle go up or down. Okay, and then it's my turn to go in and then do what I got to do. But again, I'm not saying that's the right way. I'm not saying that's the best way. I'm just saying that is an option. I think how we did it initially was totally fine. I don't see any problems with it. Yeah, I think it was good.
I just had a thought. Like, for instance, if I'm holding this and then you open the door, I'll see somebody bang bang, and as you go in, I can still watch down the hallway to make sure that you're covered as you're entering, and I'm immediately behind you. So I do like that better. I do like
Cool.
that a lot better.
And again, this is one of those situations, right, where I'll hear again. I'm a civilian, as my channel already knows. I'm a civilian, but I hear guys that are talking about, oh, you can never flag, you can never flag, never flag. In a perfect world, obviously you don't want to flag your teammate, but in that kind of situation, there, I don't mind my teammate flagging me for half a second while I get into the room, if you even were. Like I'd rather have that 100% coverage while I'm moving into the room, and if it takes, like I said, half a second or a second of me being aimed in the back of the head or back of the plate, I don't care because as soon as I clear the threshold, if someone shows up, you've come at a high already or whatever, that extra second cost me my life, right?
I wanna hear what you would have to say about like a situation like this,
Mm-hmm.
because this is how I was talking about, like where if there was like a wall right here, I
Yep.
obviously wouldn't open the door,
Yep.
but you have a wall right here too.
Yep.
So how do you
Kind of
think
double
we should
whammy.
play this one
It's
out?
going to be a bit hard because the target's in the way. So we're obviously kind of work around that as well because again, it is just a game end of the day. So there's some things that we can't do, and some things we can do in the game that we can't do with IRL. Um, because it's a double whammy or double short end, whatever you want to call it. I think you kind of have to just treat it as a normal door. Just muzzle over my shoulder, and just like the other door, just rip it. Oh, it's a push, pull. Oh, it's a push, excuse me. Just kind of rip it and then get in. and hope to God that it's a short hallway, which it is exactly that, and then just go about the business. Always like that. There's no real guaranteed safe approach, especially with one or just two guys. Ideally, you'd want 4 to 6 because you can have a guy, preferably with a belt fed, on long, kind of putting himself in harm's way. But again, he's got a belt fed, so his force multiplier kind of not cancels out, but he kind of minimizes that threat of being kind of in the open. Again, not directly in the doorway, but kind of at the rear corner here. So if he was back here with that belt fed, right, he's not completely in the doorway. He kind of is, but kind of not. But again, he's got that belt fed. Ideally, even better if we hadn't have a belt fed or belt fed that feels safe being in that kind of that danger zone. You can have first guy hitting door, second guy muzzle over his shoulder, third guy with offensive hand grenade device to throw over the first two. I mean, even twin stacking it would be okay, I guess, depending on again on what the next looks like. In my opinion, again, limited, no real combat, but just force on force and talking to guys. I think that this is the best case scenario being just a narrow, short hallway. Thank God it's not a large, massive one where we have to run in and do either limited penetration or dynamic or some kind of mix of the two. I think it's the stack here probably the best because it is so narrow, it is so short. Not a lot of dead space, there's just kind of dead space left here, but no way that someone's hiding here and you're not be able to see it on that corner. Now, behind the door is where shit gets a bit scary. For me personally, like I said, it is my opinion that first man should always take the longest angle, at least as often as possible. Again, the situation dictates, what we use. So I guess in an ideal world, we have 4 to 5 guys, two of us. Or a door gets popped. Let's just say the doorknob guy goes in first. So I pop the door, see that it's nothing, only so much. So that it's clear. Go back.
The only thing that I was thinking was maybe like a real world scenario, because like obviously this is a game, so you can't use both hands.
Yep.
But it would I would be kind of turn this game like a real world, and then the 2 men would be behind me, like over my shoulder. I would swing it open and then take a step back.
Right.
So that way, like if it did open up into a room or a larger hallway where combatants could be like just piled up,
A lot of dead spaces.
I could at least get somewhat of my body behind cover. Because in a real world, if I was to open that and there's people right there, I'd rather my arm get shot than me get shot in my neck or anywhere on like any vital areas where my plate can miss.
With this double short side, there is no right answer. Like I hear people all the time. Got one told me like a year ago. It's like there's no wrong way to do it. It's like that's not right. Saying there's no wrong way to do something with anything. That's with working on your car, working on your PSD, CQB, breaking up with a girl, whatever. There's 100% a wrong way to do things, and hoping for the best, and then just walking in. I think it's pretty wrong.
Because for me, I just like making sure that like all the men are able to get back home and lay their heads on their bed. So like during training or any type of high stakes situation, I would want to have the best scenario, the best outcome. But like obviously you can't control it. War has the last word, or any type of hostile situation has the last word, and they have a voice too. I like your philosophy of the first man taking the long route. I just want second man to be on your ass
Yep.
on that route. So, in the high chance that something does happen, you at least have an extra person or cover, because the number 1 man deserves to go home just as much as the number 2.
Yes, sir.
So, in that situation, if the number 2 man, like thankfully this is training, so like the number 2 man needs to be on your 6 at all times whenever you enter the door. Because the last thing we want is to have number 1 man go down. We have a mission success, but it's not really a success. We just lost a brother. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, if the scenario like presents itself to where you have to take that, then take it. I just pray that whoever the number 2 man in that scenario is doing what he needs to do to ensure that he lays down cover fire, and then you stay alive.
Yep. Yep. Efficiency is when safety and speed are at the exact same percentage of importance, not just in theory, but in execution. Okay, being safe means, are you as minimal as possible, not muzzling your teammate? Yes, okay. Being safe is, are you PIDing correctly? Yes, okay. Being safe is, am I leaving myself open to adverse possibilities being shot? No, okay. I'm as fast as possible? Yes, okay. Am I scanning as fast as possible? Yes, okay. Am I taking the shot as fast as possible? Yes, okay. If those two options up either side, right, align in the same amount in terms of, again, it is 100% of 50%, kind of counterintuitive, but stay with me here. If that 50% is at exactly 50 for speed, and that 50% is at exactly at 50 for safety, that is efficiency. Kind of how you taught me to do the hallway the first day we started chilling. I like to treat this as the hallway. That's kind of like the dead end. You kind of cover my sticks with the barrel of my shoulder. I do the door. We kind of swap off. Okay. So if I recall the way you showed me, probably remembering it wrong, so that's probably why I fucked up, is you're covering this door. I grab, give me the squeeze or the nod, whatever it is you do. Door gets popped. I'm kind of covering a little bit on this door still. You're pieing. Then as you go in, I kind of cover that door on my way into this room. Is that how it was, if I remember correctly?
Yeah,
I'm
so
kind of covering this door as I'm walking in, and then I make entry to help you with this room. Is that correct?
yeah, basically, I mean that would just be for like, obviously the whole two-man situation
Yep,
where
yep, of course.
you don't have like a team or a squad or anything. So basically, like the whole rundown would be like, so as soon as I open this door, you would start pieing, and I'm holding straight across. I'm making sure that I don't flag you or like shoot you or anything. So if that door was to open, you'd be safe. And then
Right.
as you go in, I would take the muzzle out, cover door, and then immediately follow behind you, if that made sense.
I'm gonna keep my laser on just for the sake of the video, so I'm not trying to laser discipline, just for that way everyone can kind of see where we're aiming at and who's talking about what. So you're in charge of this door. I'm in charge of
Okay.
this door. So I'm thinking is, you pop it. I give you the space to back up. You pie that door. Kind of ignore that door for a second. Again, this is where speed and safety have to coincide, right? Because if someone pops a door, no matter what, I can't help you. And if I'm the one, if second man, right? So if you pop the door and back up, give me space to pie. If I end up pieing it, we can't really hold security on that door anyways, because I have to cross your line at some point. So we might as well get it done a bit quicker, where you pop the door, back up, pie, do what you got to do. I can hold security on this door as long as possible. Now, again, in real life, I could just lift my rifle over you until you get too far where it's kind of redundant to do anything, right? So clear, clear, clear. Cut the pie, cut the pie. You're in front of me. I come in to help you. Once you see that my muzzle's at the doorway, or I high ready or low ready, then I can help you. Not kind of. It's very dangerous doing it that way. I'm not saying that's smarter or better than what you were saying. It's just going back to the philosophy of safety and speed have to coexist at a perfect 50-50. So to me, I think keeping the speed up and just having it where, rather than us just constantly switching back and forth, just having it where it's like, oh, don't do this again. Okay, fuck it. Pop door, back up, still giving you space to hold that door, right? So be behind me, right? Be behind me. Be my second man. So I pop the door, I back up. So you're still covering that door. I cut the pie. And you come in with me perfectly. Now, it kind of sucks. I was kind of clipping a little bit, and I was kind of short. I was kind of compressing. In a real world scenario, I'd just start short stocking. You can't in the game yet for whatever reason. But like if you either move with me or just back up all the way to where I can kind of do my thing. And the second you cross the threshold of just not being able to cover me anymore, or teammate can't cover first man anymore, that's when I just, okay, come in with you, see that I'm here at the corner, whatever. My muzzle goes up or down, whatever the shooter prefers. Once that's kind of like a cue that hey, I'm ready to move with you. What ready? You're good. Okay, bam, and then move in. Again, it's a bit more dangerous because there's a lot less coverage on that door, no doubt about it. But if we can get in this room out of that X faster, to me, that speed guarantees that safety. Just my opinion. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. Not even saying it's better. That's just my opinion. How do you feel about something like that?
No, I think that's pretty solid. A few things that I've learned being in the military is speed, surprise, and violence of action. So,
Yep.
like the fact that you're saying that you're talking about speed and trying to ensure that we get in the threshold and the doorway quicker, I can agree with that because the faster that we can get in this room and get out of this hallway, the safer we'll be.
Exactly.
We'll not probably be in like this type of scenario, like the speed, surprise, violence of action for this scenario right here. We're like we have a closed door to the front and we have to get in this door. Yes, speed, surprise, violence, and action. Let's get in the fucking room and then clear it out so we can get out of this hallway.
Yep.
Now, if the door was like further back, like 5, 10 more feet back that way, then yeah, probably I would be covering you just to make sure. But since it's so close together, yeah, get in the room and then clear.
But in a perfect world, in a perfect run, if I was first man in, I would try to go the longer angle. I would shoot him a few times, and then I'd see him, and I'd work on him because who's second man going to see first when he comes in the room out of the two shooters? If I go in first, do my whole thing, okay, going in, dive, right? Mental checklist tells me, okay, no one, okay. I'm seeing him first, that means my team is also going to see him first. Okay, by my third step in, I should be able to see that second shooter if there is one. Okay, again, this is how fast CQB is, right? I need to understand that while this is all happening, split-second decisions here, I got to understand that my teammate's still going to see him first. My teammate doesn't even know there's a second shooter in the room. And even if I call it, I'm not going to have time to call it and him hear it, and he's not going to have time to acknowledge or to comprehend my call. So I'm going to move in. Again, perfect world. I'm not saying I can do this every time because chances are I'm not because I'm dumb and my brain doesn't work that fast. I'm going to try to stun him with a few shots, move on to next target, and don't, and hope that my second man, third man, fourth man, however many guys we got, can finish this guy off. We're going to kind of form an X with our lines of fire. I don't agree with in this very certain circumstance of first man taking the short way because I just feel like if I got to help you, I got to get past you even more. I got to clear even more space just to start shooting. So as first man, I'm going to take the dangerous route and try to go farther just to get those extra guns or gun in the room. That efficiency checklist is done correctly. If second man's right behind me and I'm going in fast and I can BID properly, right? I think that's the safest way. Again, that's if the training's on par. That's if all the shooters are strong.
I'm gonna add something also to that. So, so I know not everybody has, like military training and has gone through like, like classes or getting training from some tier 1 guy or getting training from the military. So, whenever you said that you're gonna go in and you're gonna take the long route, which by the way, the number one man is never wrong. Wherever he goes, you have to go in the opposite direction and follow.
Yep.
Number one man is never wrong. So in this instance, if you were to take the long route and you start shooting him, the way that we were trained in the military is take number 1. So just do exactly what you did. You don't have to shoot or anything.
Bang bang.
So the way that I'm trained in the military to do it is since you've already dominated this side of the room, my first instinct is to not look over here. That's no longer my priority. My priority is this section right here. As soon as I enter the room, it's what's in front of me and what can I clear out. So automatically, I'm gonna PID the civvy right here in front of me.
Yep.
And then as I'm scanning, I'm gonna see dude on the floor, and I'm gonna start taking shots. And hopefully, if I miss it, by the time you're done putting the first combatant down, you would have already seen this, and then we start tag teaming the shots.
Right.
Because as I enter the room, everybody has a like a V or like a cone of fire.
Yep. Yep.
Once you start dominating this section of the room, your cone of fire is from that wall to the middle of the room. Mine is from this wall to the middle of the room. So I know not everybody uh is gonna know that or train like that. So
Yep.
like if we're just playing with like some random that would queued in to the server lobby or something, yeah, he's gonna see the first dude and start shooting. But people that have like taken classes or have gone through like actual training, that number two man's gonna know as soon as he turns the corner, that section of the room is dominated. So he needs to start dominating this side. So the whole room is clear. And that's whether and that was to be if number one man took the long route.
Right.
Because if number one man took the long route, that's what number two man would do. If number one man took the short button hook route, number two man would flow around and immediately dominate this section of the room. So it just depends on the actions of number one. Wherever he
Right.
goes, number two has to dominate the opposite side.
Right.
All right. So I remember I was telling you the other day of why I was gonna grab this door.
Yep.
Mainly because you are stuck up against a wall, and like if I was to open this door and there was a combatant right there on the other side, you have nowhere to fall back and cover. You would get shot the fuck up and probably be dead. Like right here is completely fine since it's a corner fed room. Um, right there where you're standing is actually pretty perfect because you can get a better line of sight into the rest of the room. But if this was like a more open room and I was to open the door, like that would be very fearful for me as your teammate because you have nowhere to go. If you start getting shot, the most you can do is take a knee and hope they miss. Normally in those type of situations, that's where I was saying like normally this is where I would not crouch in real life, but I would kind of get low so
Yep.
you could be over my shoulder and ready to bang. And then once I open it, we both take a step back and it start peeking into the room. And then as a number two man, you could start pieing. Yep. And then once you go in, I'll go in with you. Because then that at least gives both of us cover. If shots start popping off, at least we can get behind cover. And as a number two man, you can see if I'm hit, and if you're hit, you can give me a quick tap to let me know something is wrong.
100%. I agree. No, listen, that is perfect. Um, I don't like reaching across doors. I've been shot through doors on. Again, when I say through doors, we would cut little. I don't know dimensions. We'd cut basically a rectangular hole in the door, and so just reaching across doors, I've been shot. Again, force on force, not live rounds here. Um, but like we both agree, situations will dictate the tactic you use. And is there a place and time to do something that dangerous? Yeah, I think that is the perfect example because, like I said, if there's an embedded Dishka or some idiot has a Draco with an FRT or a Glock with drum eggs and a switch or whatever, right? I'm not gonna have anywhere to go, and I better hope that I can shoot faster than him. So to mitigate that danger, right? Safety and speed got to take the same priority as each other. I think single stacking it over the shoulder. Obviously, in a game, it's kind of hard to dictate where the player models are going to be. In real life, I would just either have a hand on you, or I would just kind of hold my rifle to the side of me where it's beyond me and beyond you. So if kind of like I'm blind firing a little bit, right? So that way, if someone's in that door, they start ripping rounds to the doorway, I can start ripping rounds back where I'm not putting any of my body in view, just my hand. And my hand gets shot, big deal. I know how to shoot with one hand. It's fine. I've been to those courses before. They tape a ball to your hand and that kind of shit, right? This is a bit of a tricky one because there's a door behind us and a door in front of us. That's kind of where I guess we kind of pick where we want to go. Do we want to zigzag or do we want to finish going that way and then come back around?
We could use common sense and know that, and this is not always true. Like assumptions get people killed, and sometimes common sense isn't always so common.
Yep.
So, but we can take a quick guess and be like, okay, so before we entered the other room, we seen a closed door to our front. This might lead back to that hallway.
Right.
So we still have to apply pressure just to make sure that we're safe to grab it. Okay.
We know how we would grab in real life, so it's all good. We know what we'd be doing.
Yeah.
This is obviously is not it.
So I would be on the wall, and two man, I would probably say, since it's a short
Yep.
corner fed room like this,
Yep.
he would probably still be behind me just in case. So that way, whenever I open the door, he would be over my shoulder, and I can open it and then just fall back. And two man has a clear line of sight without flagging.
To get it done quicker, could it be obviously we have to fucking let's just pretend the door is closed and we have to open it. Could you have it where two man in this scenario is watching this door? First man pops it, backs up, does a quick scan, sees okay, same hallway, good. And if he needs backup, you know, just give the call, hey, give me two, or you know, whatever the fuck, whatever it is that your squad or your shooting buddies say. Could that be quicker and or safer, you think, or should two men both be on that door, taking a gun off that door if there is just two of us?
Yeah, it could be quicker and safer. You know, gunshots have already been let out, so like, there's no more being quiet. You just applying pressure and security on this door allows me or the number one man, whoever it is, to open door and then quickly take a step back and peek just to make sure. Like,
And not worry about your
it's
back at the
safer.
same time.
Yeah, it's safer and more effective. It's so like either way, like it's fine. It'd be more safer for the two man to pull security though if it's just a two man op.
Right. Sure. Cool.
Bang bang.
Nothing on the desk. We're good. Where
Um,
it's kind of funky because
Yep.
if I kind of hold your back on that single stack, there's nowhere for either of us to go. We're just gonna bump into each other. But on the other hand, I can't really cover you much if this is a big wide room. And I mean, in a reality setting, I just move this desk over. Like I'd push it the fuck over while somebody else covers the door, and then we would just reach across the door. I think this is one of those times where reaching across the door is probably the safer move. Like you said, there's already gunshots. They know we're here. Dudes are probably running around. And I'm further back than I am because it's a video game. Okay, we're gonna pretend I'm really far back, just for the sake of, you know, LARPing here, boys. So pop it. I back up even more. I'm out of the way, safe. Where do you think two man should be in that situation? I guess.
Just like you explained it, you move the desk over. You're taking the door. You're reaching across. Two man would be over your shoulder watching door. So in the case the door does get snatched open, I can hurry up and PID, see if it's a target, or see if it's a civvy trying to run, get the safe, whatever.
Yep.
But in the off chance that the door does open, there needs to be a muzzle on that door to make sure that you're not getting capped or domed. So we could still make entry as a team and not as like a one man or a two man.
Food for thought. Could you have could two men be in the door frame just to get? Obviously, we now know what it looks like. In the real world, we wouldn't know what the other door shutter looks like. But could it be safer to have him here because door guy could just back all the way up? I mean, it's only in a real world setting we can move that desk. If I had to reach across, it only take me one large step back to be in cover, right? So wouldn't having that guy there. So bam, door popped. Obviously, this in the way, whatever. But I'm out of the way by the first step. I'm out of the way. Would that make more sense, or do you still think that having a guy behind door guy is a safer bet?
No, the doorway would definitely make sense.
Okay.
I agree with you on that. Realistically, like in a tactical environment, like you'd probably use the doorway. So if the door opened and shots get fired, I can take a step back, look at you, make sure you're good. You look at me, make sure I'm good, and then we engage targets.
Yep.
Same with this one.
Kind of sketchy for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know what the other side looks like, but I think you would probably be fine right there. So I'm just gonna swing it. I got two
Bang.
civvies on the right.
I said bang, and it's a civvy. LOL. Civvy left, civvy right.
Bang bang.
Bang bang.
Bang bang. Damn.
Everything perfectly. Do the pie from outside. Throw a banger in, and I mean this room's filled with what? 10 dudes, 9 dudes.
Yeah, dude. There's no way.
I mean, thankfully we got rifle armor. They only got pistols, but still, like that's still a lot of rounds that you have to hopefully not catch, and hope that if you do hit it, it does hit you. It's not in a vital spot.
Another real world scenario. If we're over here and we're fucking pawing the door and shot. Oh my bad, ND, and we're shots start getting let off. Somebody's throwing a banger and somebody's throwing a grenade, or somebody's just throwing a nade in there.
This is
Because we,
something I've seen a lot with the grenade thing. Sorry to cut you off. This is where I kind of,
you're
because I'll
good.
see guys say, "Oh, CQB sucks. Just throw a frag in there," and it's like that's all well and good, but going back to the civilian side is not only do we as civilians not have access to these kind of things, but even if we did, we got to think about dying or not. I'm not throwing a frag in a room full of kids, right? I don't care if there's an SFS
Yeah,
in there or a PK in there. I'm not throwing a frag in a room full of kids. So when dudes say, no, I'm not saying that's what you're saying at all. Just because you brought up the usage of offensive fragmentation grenades, um, I don't like when people say, "Oh, just throw a frag in the room." Why? Like, I don't care how badass you think you are. I don't care if you're a GWAT vet or not. If you frag some lady and her kid, and you walk in the room and she's all mangled up and dead, you're not going to be able to live with yourself, dude. So throwing a frag in every room, I'm sorry, isn't it's not like a win all situation. It's just not. When I see dudes say that, again, this is from a civilian standpoint. I'm not an expert. I'm not some PTSD expert talker, TED Talk guy. I'm just saying as a human to human, yeah, it sounds cool to say I'm just gonna throw a frag in the room. I think in this circumstance, it's probably a bad idea for us as well because there's more unarmed than there are armed. Again, I don't know
yeah,
the exact real world scenario for this, but it's just I think any kind of offensive deterrent that isn't fragmentation is great. I think flashbangs, even though it isn't like Call of Duty where it actually makes you blind unless you're looking directly at it and it's at your feet. They can concuss you. They can make you dizzy and woozy. That is something that flashbangs do. I think nine bangers are great because as far as I know, most civilians in America can get nine banger if I'm not mistaken. Um, Even I know dudes that brought firecrackers to force on force training sessions, like legal, legitimate store crack or firecrackers you get from the grocery store. Um, a firecracker to me is an offensive hand grenade because it's a distraction tool. It's not defensive; it's offensive. Only smokes and thermites are defensive, in my opinion. Um, I think frag in maybe a wartime setting. Again, that's your area, not mine. I think in a wartime setting, sure. Civilians die in war. I'm not saying that any life is worth less than any other. I'm just saying in a war setting where that kind of shit matters for sure. But I think in a civilian setting, I think it's going to be flashbangs. We have them, and then some kind of other distraction tool that could hurt you. Like if you have a firecracker in your hand, like some idiot goes to pick it up because he wants to throw it back, it goes off in his hand. That's taking some of his fingers. Now he's out of the fight with one hand, right? Um, I just sidebar. Long story long. I just don't like when you say, "Oh, I'm throwing frags in every room." That's not. I'm not. Again, I'm not saying that's what you said at all. I'm just sidebarring it. I don't like when dudes say that because it's not applicable. It's not applicable to right because more shootings happen in the cities and whatnot than it does in wartime, right? There's shootings and killings almost every single day, right? There may be shootouts every day in wartime, but there's not people dying every single day in wartime, where there are in the city, and so you can't just start saying, "Oh, I'm gonna throw a frag in the room." That's not realistic. That's not a calculated or a realistic approach. It's just not. Um, I'm not throwing a frag in my grandma's room because some guy in the GWAT told me that it's how he cleared every room in Fallujah. It's just not a smart move.
I should have clarified that before I said it. So like whenever I said that, I was talking more of like, like wartime or like being across seas in that general area.
Yep.
Um, unless you're so realistically speaking, from a conventional standpoint, we don't get our hands on flashbangs. It's
Right.
an
Right.
impossible, almost like unicorn thing for the conventional level. Now, if we're special forces, yeah, throw a flashbang in there, throw two, and it'll be a safer thing.
Yep. For sure.
Now, being like in the city, in like in your country, wherever you're located, or wherever like you live, yeah, don't throw a frag in there because like you don't know who's on the other side of the door. You don't know
Of
if there's
course.
kids, civilians, dogs. Like, yeah, absolutely.
Bangers in the room, we'll say. Cool. I see unarmed, unarmed, armed. The obviously I wouldn't go this far because you're already taking that angle. So I see unarmed, middle, and left. Dead space left, dead space right. Okay, so already smoked our guys. Cool. All right. I'm ready to move in. I do my movement. I see, okay, his muzzle's upper low. I come in, bang, 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 rolled across. I like doing X into a J hook. But the problem is, obviously, now there's a couch here. So what we could do is, in theory, I can kind of swing over to you. Again, obviously, I want to hear your opinion after. I can swing over to you. We can kind of swap off where you're going right, I'm going left. And we can kind of back-to-back it until we're both safe. Gun, bang, bang, bang.
A lot of shooters, a lot of civilians in the room.
Yep.
Once bullets start flying, civilians are going to be going crazy. They're
Yep.
going to be panicking. You don't know what they're going to be doing. So, in a real world scenario, you're going to have to watch them, and while you're watching every other angle, trying to make sure that every shooter is down. Because even though they're civilians
Yep.
and
Good
they're
pull.
scared and they look harmless, they could easily, go pick something up and hurt you with it. Because the quicker that we can clear this room, take out all the combatants, the quicker we can deal with the civilians.
Yep.
Because the last thing you want is to be clearing it. So I just shoot this enemy right here, this combatant, and there's 2 civilians on my right. And I get up here with you and I get on the line and I get to an X. You're watching your side, I'm watching mine, and then now I'm getting stabbed in the back of my neck because I didn't check this civilian. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You always got to be wary of who you pass and like civilians because they can easily be combatants, just not armed with a rifle or a handgun. They could have something sharp, or they can have something that can discombobulate you and take you out of the fight. I like the fact that you said that you were going to push over, because as you push over, I can actually start looking more around. I can take out this guy on the floor. You're taking out the dude right there, and then that gives me the opportunity to clear the corner and then save this hostage. Once I shoot the dude that's holding the hostage, I can quickly start scanning the rest of the room and then get my muzzle on this door while you start clearing the rest of that side of the room.
Cool.
You're assaulting into an objective, or you're trying to clear out a room to get your family in so they're safe, or you're trying to rescue a hostage, like whatever the scenario dictates. Once you're in that environment, there is no more being nice. Like, you can be
Yep.
nice after the mission is over. If you just cleared a room and a civilian is like tweaking and like they're panicking and you're trying to make sure that they're clear, they don't have any weapons, they don't have nothing on them, and they're just spazzing out, like, this isn't a time for being nice. This is a time to make sure that you, your family, your buddies, your teammates, whoever is staying alive. So you need to do whatever you can to get them down so you can search them. So it's either 2 people get on that 1 civilian and search them, or this is gonna suck to say, but you press that muzzle into their fucking chest and you get them down as quick as possible so you can assess the room and figure out if they're a threat or not. And then after the situation is done, then you'd be like, hey, sorry, like, I have to do that to you. I just had to make sure. Like,
Yep.
but
No, I agree. 100%. Yeah, now we got a nice wide doorway. I like it.
yeah, finally. Alright, well, let's say that these things weren't here.
You got stuck, so I'll go first.